joined. Speaking of ugly, he ain't. It's Mitchell Paige. Oh. How about that, buddy? See, you thought I was going to slam me? Oh, I saw the look on your face, man.
Hadn't been on in a long time. Get called ugly in the first 2 seconds. But no
way.
You flipped the script.
No way, baby. How have you been? First of all, Mitchell has gotten married and has baby on the way and has moved back to Indiana from beautiful Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah. It's weird. It's like distance makes the heart grow fonder come true. We're really excited to be back. I'm just near downtown, but not downtown. And really excited. Got a baby coming in about a month and a half. First one, little girl. Can't wait.
Former football player, by the way, for Indiana. And not only that, you do have, if you Google Mitchell Paige, you do have an ESPN NFL stat thing. It's empty, but it's there.
Yeah, you didn't have to add that it's empty. But
well, I'm just saying, hey, how many of us can say that they freaking have one?
Yeah, definitely. And I've got the jersey to prove it. And my kid's little girl, first one, never going to have Google. I'll tell her I was the MVP of the whole league, and she'll never know
San Diego Chargers, baby, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Feels like a long time ago. Every day, it just feels like I'm advancing a week.
Well,
in terms of age. You ever feel like that?
Fact. Oh, hell yeah. But the fact that you were even there, that you had that opportunity is crazy, and it leads perfectly into a topic that right now there is a good possibility that the walk-on will be no more. There would have been no Rudy. There would have been no Mitchell. And look how wrong that would have been, because Rudy became a movie and Mitchell went to Europe and played and had a very successful career there, and was just close to being in the NFL. I mean, and this is guys that would not have a chance in today's game now.
I actually, when John asked me to jump on the show, I didn't even know this was a thing. This is the first time hearing of it. It would be awful. Walk-ons, 99% of the time I see the walk-on the field on Saturday, but to have good, productive practices, walk-ons run that scout team, and those are the guys that are basically building your entire plan off of. And their ability to kind of reenact what the opposing team is going to do on Saturday is a major part of preparation. You probably know better than me. I don't know how far along something like this is. I understand what the schools are, saying. We can't pay all these guys. Even in today's current model that is not sustainable at all. I mean, walk-ons are making scrap.
Yeah, we lost Mitchell there for a second. There he's back already.
Yeah, I'm back. I just got a phone call. Had to swipe up on it. But they're making scraps compared to what they're paying some of these top kids. I'm a little biased, but if you want to fix the model, it starts at the top, paying kids that have never played it down as college football, and you're paying them millions of dollars to join your team just for them to transfer in a year. Walk-ons aren't the ones that are flooding the portal. They're kind of they're still the guys that are picking themselves up off the ground every day. I don't think in this model, I think walk-ons are the least of the problem.
They are, but what the point would be is they would also be deemed as employees and have to be paid. So that is a way of reducing that payroll from 115 to 85, which, that's 30 extra guys you would be paying or not be paying, which across the board, that adds up. I mean, whatever each one of those guys would be getting times 30, and then you multiply that by the schools. That's a crap ton of money.
It is a crap ton of money.
Not that you weren't worth it, because there are always some that are worth it. And that's the great thing when you see. That's why they make such a big deal out of guys that have been walk-ons and get awarded a scholarship. It's always a major deal because that means they've worked it. The team sees that they deserve it. And it's going to suck to see that go away. It really is.
Yeah. It changes the entire landscape of the game. It really does. Your best players are never going to be your walk-ons. But they're probably, at least in my experience, the top 10 walk-ons are twice as important to the team as the bottom 10 scholarship guys. A lot of the time you're taking flyers on high school kids because there's so many players, so many all over the country. A lot of these kids have all the tools. They're big, strong, athletic, fast. You see them at one camp. They have one catch that's amazing. Like, wow, let's offer that kid a scholarship. But then you meet him and he's a moron. And we have, just in my 5 years, I could probably run through a list of 20 morons that had all of the ability in the world that were scholarship guaranteed money for 4 or 5 years. Versus a walk-on, my scholarships were renewable every year. I didn't get a guaranteed scholarship for the rest of the time. If I wouldn't have played well the first year that I got it, they were yanking it. Andre Booker is a great example. Andre played phenomenal. Phenomenal. The 1 year he got on scholarship. Still had another year to play, and they pulled it from him. He had to pay for his last year, and he played all 4 years. He was a starter on a special team at least for 4 years as a walk-on and was only on scholarship 1 year. Versus a lot of these guys that are scholarships that, I mean, no disrespect to them, but just don't have it for whatever reason. They can't show up when the lights turn on. They have terrible grades. They miss meetings, whatever it is. Those guys are guaranteed a scholarship for their entire time on campus, whether they play or not. And now I think it's a little easier to get rid of those guys. That's why you see a lot of them in the portal. I would argue probably 70% of the guys in the portal are not their own doing, and the coach saying, listen, I think you may be better off somewhere else. But it seems like we've got this big problem that's an obvious glaring problem. It's an unsustainable model.
Speaking of unsustainable, Mitchell can be unsustainable sometimes, but he usually always bounces back. But I don't think it's unsustainable because the numbers are being exposed. People are finding out what the numbers are, how much TV money is coming in, which is a lot more than people think.
Sorry, I was cutting in and out. I apologize to the listeners. I'm back now. No more phone calls. None.
Great. All kinds of golfing events coming up. I want to remind people that to not forget that, especially if you live in the Southwest Indiana area, Evansville, our peeps listening on 97.7 ESPN, the Ref. It's always the right call. The IU Alumni Association of Greater Evansville's annual golf scramble at Sultan's Run in Jasper on Monday, May 20th. All proceeds benefit local students through their Greater Evansville Alumni Chapter Scholarship of the Indiana University Alumni Association. There you go. There's the information. www.myiu.org/events/Evansville Golf 24, or contact Kyle King, KYW King at indiana.edu, or 812-677-1119. And I'm going to be there, and I have to say, I just set up a Ryder Cup team. In essence, Mitchell Paige is going to play. Tyler Harris, the executive director of Hoosiers for Good, is going to play, and I've got Todd Leary that's going to play. So nice. I'm going to be doing a lot of this, which for those of you that are just listening is me leaning back in a chair with my arms behind my head. If I had a cigar right now, I would be smoking the cigar, just watching those three Ryder Cup level players play and enjoying the hell out of it. So that should be fun. Looking forward to that. Awesome. But for those of you, that's a great opportunity to get out. I know that besides Mitchell and Todd being there, Colin Hartman's going to be there. There will be other people there as well. And speaking of Hoosiers at Huber's also in May, about a week later. It's on Wednesday, May 29th for this annual gathering, and this sucker generally sells out. The tickets are the same. It's $50 per person. It's been that way for a long time. It's held down, of course, for Southern Indiana and Louisville area Hoosier communities, but people come from all over. It will feature head football coach Kurt Signetti, head men's basketball coach Woodson, and players from both Indiana men's and women's basketball teams and the football program, and includes an autograph session afterwards. Proceeds from this year's event will benefit Indiana's NIL program. Just go to nforindiana.com for information. Boy, don't you wish you played in the NIL era?
I don't think I would have made a killing, but I think I would have done decent. Just goes kind of to show, you never know. We were talking walk-ons. You just never know. I'm going to finish my thought because I'm not going to get a call here. I'm just not. I can't. I'm not putting it, not allowing it. Basically, just summation of my point. Recruiting is just such an inexact science. If you eliminate walk-ons, guys that are willing to just work a little bit harder for half the chances that some of these scholarship guys are getting. When your walk-ons are good, your quality of your team improves dramatically. If you take that away, the quality of the product is going to go down dramatically because you don't have the same. I was pushing the wide receivers for no reason other than I wanted to play. I had nothing guaranteed, nothing coming to me. I was watching film, getting extra reps just because I wanted to be on the field. And when you have somebody like that, and there's guys like me all over the country doing the same thing with more size, more speed, more skill, more talent, when you have guys like that pushing the guys that are on scholarship, the quote-unquote better players, and that's up for debate as well in some cases, but when you don't have people pushing from behind for no reason, aren't guaranteed anything, they have nothing to lose. The quality, the extra work, everything that happens in the building gets worse. So if you're, and I don't know, it feels like a rule that will not get passed. I mean, there's so much money in football. You have to make sure that product stays as positive and good as it possibly can be. Oh, no way.
I bet it does. And something I just thought of, though, football was the only sport that was mentioned. So I'm like, okay, so does basketball get to keep their walk-ons? Because they're absolutely needed. You couldn't practice without walk-ons, in essence. You'd be going basically 5-on-5 with three guys standing and rotating in, not having those other, 5 players or however many walk-ons you have. That would make it almost impossible for a basketball program.
Yeah, and I mean, we can talk about the logistics of a team and what's required for practice and that who makes the team good and yada, 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 yada. Rules will be handed down based on what football wants. It's the reality. Football makes all the money, even at a school like Indiana. I've talked about this probably too many times. Indiana basketball is a top 5 revenue-producing basketball program in the country, and they don't even sniff what the football team brings into the school. Don't even come close. And Indiana has been as bad as they could possibly be for 2 straight years, and they still just aren't even on the same planet. So it's always going to be whatever the football coaches want. That's what's going to happen. That's why we've gotten mega conferences. That's why we've gotten NIL deals. That's had nothing to do with basketball players, girls, sports. It's all football all the time. It makes all the money. That's where all the TV revenue comes from.
Well, that's for most schools, but do you really think it's for Indiana? Because they only have generally 6 home games.
Close.
This year it's going to be 8. How?
It's not even close. It's TV.
Where's
it's
it
all
coming
TV.
from?
It's all TV. Look it up. It's
I know it is for everybody else.
It's probably 10x.
Question.
It's probably 10x at Indiana revenue, if I had to guess.
Well, maybe because of the money that Michigan and Ohio State and all those guys are bringing in
right.
for bowl games.
It's all distributed. It's all distributed. And all the money.
To keep their own money that they make at home. Like Michigan makes more money on a home game than Indiana does all season.
I mean, maybe, but their money doesn't come from ticket sales or beer sales. It's all TV. It's all TV. So when you get them big primetime ABC games that Indiana has played in, those are massive, massive deals. When you talk about commercials, ads, how many eyeballs are on a Saturday 3:30 ABC game that I played in 3 of them when I was there at Ohio State. And yeah, Ohio State's the reason we're on ABC, but Indiana has the luxury of being in that conference and playing them every single year. And now that we're in super conferences, that money's only getting more. And it's not for basketball. There's Tuesday night, big games for sure. Saturday night, even big games. They don't even come close to what a football Saturday night powerhouse game is going to bring. And all that revenue is shared. And it's not distributed 100% equally, but yeah, the Indiana football program is what allows Indiana athletics to operate at the high capacity that they do. And that's just the reality of the situation. It's not because I'm a football player. I didn't bring millions of dollars worth of value to the university. Not even close. Not even close. Our team really probably didn't. We got better, but all the money's generated from the big schools. And Indiana's fortunate to be in the Big Ten, which is a couple of years from now probably going to be one of 2 major power players. And they're going to be the ones that make the decisions. And I would be shocked if they reduce roster sizes. I would guess that if football wanted it, they would increase the roster size just because they want to be as good as they can be.
Hello, everybody. Jim Coyle with Indiana Sports Beat Radio, and thank you for enjoying our content and videos. And make sure you hit that subscribe and notifications toggle so you don't miss out on anything, whether it's Indiana Hoosiers, the Boilers, the Colts, the Pacers, Indiana high school action, whatever is happening in sports. We're trying to bring it all to you, and make sure you don't miss out on a thing. Again, hit the subscribe button for us. Helps us out a ton. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much.